What's up, guys? So yeah, that's it. We are doing our first ever mystery TV show. And we are just coming on the heels of a big arc in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. It was my favorite animated fight that I have ever seen. Goku and the gang against Vegeta, the Saiyan. It had ups and downs, it had new powers and old powers. It's something that I've been thinking about over the course of several days since I saw it. And most importantly, of course, Kanon gets his moment. He doesn't get the ultimate kill, spoilers, but he does get some incredible moments throughout the whole thing. I just love everything that K9 is able to do in the context of the show right now, and he's getting this kind of leadership role that he didn't get to have before. And of course, you got Goku on the mend, you've got Gohan growing up, and they're about to embark on a new, exciting adventure, which we will not miss, that's for sure. But in anticipation of that adventure, I want to throw in this mystery television show. If you guys like doing these, it would be great to do them on occasion, or we can stick with this particular show. And this particular show is supposed to be one of the most ambitious and brilliant and important television shows to ever be released to the public. It's supposed to have some of the greatest storytelling and acting that one is able to see amongst the streaming media. So that being said, I wanted to just have a seat. We're going to try out the first episode. I've never seen this before. So we're going to try out the first episode, and we're going to see, does it live up to the monumental civilizational height to which it's been ascribed? And we'll make that determination at the end and decide whether we're going to keep going with it. So thank you for coming along with me on our first ever mystery TV show. It's actually a rather long first episode.
An obligation to refrain from the misuse of that power?
You in the case.
All right, so yeah, I'm an attorney, so obviously you need to know the context of the standards. So a couple of things that I'm gonna point out here. She apparently went to law school in California. Me too, no way. She's got an RBG bobblehead, which is edging into concerning territory, and a book entitled Badass Women. I would call it a little untoward for your office, but whatever the case, she made her opening speech, and she has just been validated by her female coworker, and we'll see where we go from here.
At all.
I feel like this is gonna land better coming from.
Bye, Dennis.
You're gonna listen to a paralegal over another lawyer?
It was so good. Seriously? How you used the weight of civic duty.
Okay, no, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that good. But obviously they've already put a male character in his place who's attempting a very clear mansplaining moment. So I'm a little bit concerned about where this is going to be going. Because this was an opportunity. It was an opportunity for her to have some kind of an early struggle that has to do with her career that she could later overcome and have some kind of a, in-office rival. But he was just quickly shooed away. Ushered away under the weight of the authority of a paralegal, apparently. So I'm not so sure that this is going to be an opportunity for a character building moment.
I almost cried during parts of it. It's amazing. It's so great, Jen. There is a reason why you were handpicked.
Okay, Jesus Christ, this is the most obsequious validation I've ever seen at the beginning of a movie. Obviously, in general, the whole point is your character's supposed to have an arc. They're supposed to experience something and learn from it. In this case, the only thing that she's had so far is constant approbation. The one guy who raised any concerns about her performance has already been banished to the Shadow Realm, and the only other person that we know of so far in this world is just screaming her praises about how great and amazing. It's like repeated, it's just over and over how great and incredible and amazing she is. So we'll see where it goes.
My little baby genius is gonna be a district attorney one day.
Maybe
Dodging
one day. It's true. I am a Hulk. It's true. I am a Hulk.
Okay, well, that was a thoroughly boring way to approach that. But it's my understanding that the comic book itself, the She-Hulk comic book, actually has a great sense of humor. It's really kind of a goofy take on the aspect. That's the whole thing with the contrast of her being a lawyer and a Hulk. It creates a lot of opportunities for hilarity. So it's my understanding that it has that posture, that it breaks the fourth wall like this. It doesn't take itself seriously. So it's just supposed to be a fun and funny aspect of this kind of superhero, while she does get kind of reincorporated, the She-Hulk in general get reincorporated into more serious storylines and that kind of thing. It's my understanding that she has a great sense of humor about the whole thing and how her comic and story and everything is structured. So, I mean, this seems to fit with that she's speaking right at the camera, although, like I said, it's not super interesting that she just talks to the camera about how, oh yeah, I guess that's a thing. I am.
A few months ago, I went on a road trip with my cousin Bruce.
Yeah.
That Bruce.
It's all because, I made this little device.
So one of the gravest concerns about everything they're doing with the MCU, and have been, there were hints of it early on, even in like Iron Man movies and those that seem so stable, is this use of male heroes to be able to kind of leapfrog female heroes into their position. And it's something obviously we saw in Star Wars. But the point is to denigrate the male heroes so that the female heroes look better. And I'm not sure how much of this is going to be coming up in this show in particular, but already, oh, my cousin Bruce, I'm a little bit concerned about it. But obviously you can write this very well. Her relationship with Bruce and all the things that have happened in the MCU up to now, and incorporate all the things that happen in the comics or whatever. It can be done really well, but we'll have to see if it is.
So you don't get Cheetos fingers.
That's really smart.
You're not the only genius in the family.
No, there's also Chet.
I know, this seems like a small thing, and I'm jumping in here a lot, and I apologize. But already, this is something that you do with the protagonist. You want to make your protagonist look great, so you bring in somebody who's supposed to be awesome, and you have them do something greater that person appreciates, just to get that clout. It's a really superficial way to get that clout. So in this particular instance, it seems like a very simple thing. It's just a joke, throwaway joke about using chopsticks with Cheetos. But they specifically have this conversation about both of them being geniuses. And so he's praising her in this context specifically as generic approbation from somebody you're supposed to, trust and look up to as the 15-year representation of the Hulk or whatever in the MCU. They've already got him praising her. Now remember, she was already praised to high heaven by the paralegal. Now she's being praised again by Hulk. So we'll see where this goes.
From that moment on, a symbol of America, he is rushed to the front lines. Obviously, Captain America was a virgin. Look out!
Yeah, so yet again, bringing up Captain America in that context. We've had virtually, nothing go on so far, but already we've had one hero of the MCU praise her, and another hero be incidentally denigrated by her in saying that, he's a virgin. So we've spanned the whole duration of everything that has happened so far in the MCU with two of its major characters. There's something really kind of childishly dismissive in that. And obviously this is supposed to be some kind of a comedy, so they could do whatever they want. But there is something psychologically dismissive in just saying that, all the things that he accomplished, everything that he's done, I just summed it up in this single conversation where I'm driving the car. And no, she's the one driving the car, of course. And I summed up his entire contribution, all of Captain America, in the singular fact that he was a virgin, having gone through all this stuff. I wonder if there's something in that related to people who excessively worship America or something, being incels or something like that. I don't know. But everything seems to head in a particular direction psychologically. So, what are we, like 2 minutes in? I don't know. But okay, let's see what I did. They saw a spaceship or something and she turned. All right. Women drivers. That was a gratuitous foot shot. Sexist. Is she saving the Hulk right now?
Inhibitor. Get away!
Thus Origin. Alright, I'm not actually sure what the origin story of the She-Hulk is in the comics, but I would venture to say that it's not her saving the Hulk and then accidentally getting his blood dropped on her in the midst of that saving. I'm just guessing. I don't know, but that doesn't seem like it would be a means of doing that in the comics. So, okay, well, that's the origin. That's the origin of the She-Hulk. Can I just say, so again, we are literally 5 minutes into the show. So can I just say, notice how we haven't really done or set up or accomplished anything so far? I mean, she's just generically liked by her paralegal, generically liked by Hulk. We don't know much of anything at all about her personality, just that she works and wants to do well at her work and uses chopsticks on Cheetos because she's such a genius and is an inattentive driver. So there's that too. But virtually nothing that has any kind of actual momentum has been set up yet, and we just kind of jump straight back to this origin story. There's no reason to care about what happens with this case because no stakes were set up or anything about that. There was no character issue related to that was set up because it was already resolved instantly in that first thing, because you had the one guy who's like, oh, I can mansplain it, and they were like, get out, and that was the end of that. That was the end of that conflict. So there's nothing right now. Like, there's nothing moving this story actually forward of interest. So now she just hulked out, and, you know, like a werewolf, she ends up in a forest by the moon next to a dead body, and we see what happens from here, I guess. Alright, so again, what's the tension here? Yeah, she looks a little gross, she's a little dirty, and she has to get to a women's bathroom to kind of clean herself up a little bit, which is going to accomplish, you know, next to nothing, given the state of her. So what is actually being accomplished? What's the source of tension? What's the intrigue of this particular setup or situation? What's the character aspect that's being explored in this? Nothing. There's nothing going on here.
Oh, girl, what happened to you?
Who did this to you?
You do not need him.
Or her.
Or them.
But you do need shoes, because this is a public bath.
Right.
Oh my god. You could just see, like, the bloated inclusivity of the writing that they had to throw in there, and then just that there's no tension. There's no reason for this to be meaningful or anything like that. We don't have anything that's set up that's going to make this an important moment, character-wise or plot-wise or anything else. I don't know if it's just that, you know, Dragon Ball was so well written and enjoyable, and they did that over the course of, you know, a couple hundred episodes that we've watched now, that they were still able to maintain some kind of momentum plot-wise and interest and character structures and all those things throughout all those episodes. And yet in the first episode of this, we've got nothing to go with. This is really bad.
Put this on. Oh, thank you, but I just need to get cleaned up. I don't need you to put makeup on me.
That's it? That was the scene?
What's up? How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
You with anyone?
Just being friendly.
Yeah, where you going?
Oh my god. That wasn't even bad. Like, I get catcalled worse than that. So far, okay, we've had this conflict has been set up. I haven't seen the resolution of this conflict as of yet. I'm guessing that they run away, and that's the extent of it. And I'm guessing it has no further implications for the rest of the plot or anything like that. But it's tremendously generic and unimportant in general. Maybe we'll do a character thing, though. Maybe it'll be a character thing where she is abusing what she has attained as of this point, you know, her Super Hulk powers. And so it'll be a character thing that she is going to be excessive and has to learn to control that, you know, much like Bruce did when he was being chased by the United States military all over the country and the world. And she gets, you know, 3 random guys who are vaguely trying to hit on her. Okay, that was even less content than I expected, so apparently that looked like the other Hulk tackled her down to prevent her from doing anything to those men. I was hoping at least that she would, you know, severely injure a couple of them so that we could have some kind of character development moment where she would have to be regretful of something that she did, but instead she just kind of growled at them, and that was the extent of it. I don't know if I've ever been this bored this early in a show. There really is... I think it's a writing thing nowadays where they just have this feeling of entitlement to your attention. They don't care about actually entertaining you. They just feel like, well, yeah, you're going to watch it, obviously. So you just sit there and you watch it. We don't care whether you're enjoying it or entertained or not. But so far we've had, you know, she has her job and she was getting prepared for that, which doesn't really take much agency. And then she got accidentally imbued with Hulkness, which doesn't take agency. She went to the bathroom and then was fawned over by a bunch of women who were super supportive yet again, which doesn't take much agency. She growled at some people, but only after they accosted her in the gentlest way, which doesn't take much agency. And then she was tackled down and put somewhere, which does not take any agency. More gratuitous foot shots. Okay, keep in mind, this is the second time that she's woken up in a random place she doesn't know, you know, within the last couple of days.
Hello?
Bad writers don't understand just how much of a drag it is to have a character with so little agency, no actual goals, no interests, and no real conflicts. They don't understand just how bad it is and how much of a dull watching experience it is, or dull reading experience it is, when you do those things. So I would venture to say, and I don't know, again, I didn't look up the writers or anything, I would venture to say that the writers on the show don't have much experience, but I digress.
Sorry, I thought I'd get a little work done. But this is where I spent a blip fixing myself and integrating the Hulk banner.
Did we hit a spaceship?
I gotta get to the bottom of that. You know, weird stuff just kind of finds you when you're a Hulk. But first, we gotta deal with you.
Me? What?
First, you and your needs.
We share a rare combination of genetic factors. I have been analyzing your blood. I was able to use it to completely heal my arm.
Oh my god. Are we serious right now? I couldn't even let her finish the sentence. So the whole point was that her blood was so super special, incredibly special, at synthesizing gamma radiation, even better than the Hulk, that he had to use her blood to help him heal. Jesus Christ. Like we said before, when it comes to writing protagonists, look for signs of egocentrism. When a storyline, a plot, or whatever else, the other characters in a story, when they're centered around a single character and are dependent upon that character, that shows signs of that kind of writing egocentrism. And when you have a very simple, small world, which we certainly have here, I mean, everything about this world, everything that has happened, every person that we've encountered so far has been explicitly centered around the protagonist. And now, we have, decades now of an MCU and all the comic book history and all those things that has been relegated by saying that her blood was super extra special and needed to be used by Hulk to heal himself, notwithstanding everything that he's done over the past couple decades.
It's basically different.
In a better way. You've analyzed everything. Now fix me. Get me back to normal.
Okay, so the first conflict that we have that isn't really a conflict, I'm sure, is that she doesn't want to be the Hulk thing, and she's concerned about turning into the Hulk thing. So we've got some kind of a conflict now in the world. But let's see how it goes.
It was calibrated
Great.
specifically
Make
to me.
me one. For me. Calibrate it to me. Just got my own office. I have
Jen,
business
this is
cards.
it. There is no going back to... Jen, what is it? What do you need?
Was that a joke? Was that supposed to be a joke? I let it run because I was like, okay, well, they're setting up some kind of a joke here, and holy hell, it's not even funny. Like, it's not even... So obviously, yet again, we've got just complete doting by the character that has come before that has done immeasurably more for the world and seen more, and he's just this doting attendant to this new protagonist here, and it's pretty pathetic so far. So
You stay here until you figure out how to control your Hulk self. Now, with my help, hopefully your progress will go a little bit faster than mine.
The point was to prevent me from turning into a Hulk.
okay, just notice more gratuitous foot shots. Just noticed that there hasn't been any cost yet for her turning into the Hulk. There hasn't been a cost. The only thing that she's had to worry about is she had to sneak into a bathroom to kind of clean herself up after the first time that it happened. And there was an intervention the second time that it happened, and there was nothing costly that has actually come up. So there are no stakes yet. They haven't established any stakes whatsoever for this situation. It's all implied stakes from stuff that's outside of the actual media, which makes it incredibly dull. You're not establishing anything within your own movie or your own TV show that creates tension, that creates interest, that creates momentum. Nothing like that has been established.
Put on a Pixar movie. When Bing Bong jumps out of the wagon and Inside Out.
The triggers are anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
Oh my god, so already, any woman existing, the baseline, anger and fear, this has already been established. Why would any man have to feel anger or fear? Thank you.
If I don't transform, I'm gonna die!
Whoa, easy, girl. Easy.
That CG doesn't look that great.
Wait, you're still Jen? Right now?
Yeah?
Oh my god, look at that. She's already so much better. So much better at this. This is her third time turning into the thing, and she's already so much better. This was a struggle, like he said, that took 15 years for him to resolve, and still has issues with it. But she did it. She done did it.
You don't have another guy to wrestle with for 10 years.
It's settled in.
Oh, look at that! Conflict resolved. That was difficult. Jesus Christ, who are these writers? And there aren't even jokes. Like, it's not even actually funny or anything. This is really poorly done.
Thread, though, is being unconscious.
Not necessarily. One time, I was stuck as the other guy for over 2 years.
Okay, I'll be careful.
You can't be emotional.
Your neck, bend your knees if that's more comfortable. Hold in your farts. Namaste. Oh, I thought it was about getting my butt tight as hell. Up, dog.
I could see that you're not.
I
So why don't you get
just
some
no
rest
words.
and tactics? Don't even think about moving into a place with less than 10-foot ceiling. Oh, it's done.
I'm shown.
Oh, look at that. Making fun of him. She's so much better. She did it with a spin and knocked trees down.
So I'm clearly nailing it at all of these things. When am I ever going to use this as a lawyer?
Millions of dollars. Millions.
I legitimately do have a life to get back to.
I know I've been pushing you through a lot.
Okay, how much time have we spent doing this? You know, she's doing her little montage or training or whatever that she doesn't want to do and isn't interesting in any way. But do we have any kind of conflict? Did she even set up that she had, oh, well, this trial is coming up. I have to get back for my trial. I have to get ready for my trial. No, she just generally says, I have to get back to my life. She says, when do I get to leave? I have to get back to my life. Nothing is set up. None of the jokes are set up. None of the structures are set up, the conflicts aren't set up. This is all happening in a completely loose, meaningless vacuum instead of having some kind of significance. And Jesus Christ, she's just been whiny this whole time. It's non-stop whiny. Is that her only characteristic? Is just whining about everything? Is that what they thought would be appealing about this?
And regulate your emotions, especially your anger.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. Catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it. I do it infinitely more than you. So all of this just feels like projecting.
Was that a joke? Was that supposed to be... I thought it was a setup for saying how completely ridiculous it is to complain about those things in this context, but nope. And look who she's complaining to. Mind-boggling. And I thought for a second maybe they're setting up kind of a character flaw, that she would be so narcissistic and egocentric that she would say something like that, and that it would, you know, make her lose her temper, and that will have some cost later or something. But I don't think that's where they're going.
You guys have outgrown your binder, cuz. Love you, Bruce, but I'm going home.
More gratuitous foot shots.
To now get back to my life.
Listen, I know you didn't ask for this, but whether you like it or not...
Some secret government contractor squad and have my entire life taken away from me.
What a wonderful character, right? I mean, just somebody you want to see succeed because she's so insanely selfish and childish and not thankful for anything. That's certainly somebody you want to root for, right? Now let's see if there's an old boy style kind of grand event that will lead to some self-realization wherein she will no longer be so incredibly selfish.
Oh, so you didn't wind up alone? Hiding away on some remote beach with no friends? You're a cautionary tale.
That's the price you have to pay.
Really? Really?
Dialectical behavioral bullshit!
This is really stupid. There are zero stakes in this fight.
My bar! If you want to go back to your life as a lawyer, I respect that.
Oh, and now that he acceded to her wishes and validated her.
Basically, I was right and Bruce was wrong. And I never have to be a Hulk.
Uh-huh.
That my client was well within his right to protect his business interest. Your definition of knowing.
Don't screw this up, Walters.
Evil man.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Do your thing.
Another external intervention. And, importantly, it's not going to be a flaw of hers because she just set it up. She set it up when she talked about how, and I was right and he was wrong because I haven't had a Hulk incident since all that stuff went down. So, of course, the character-related expectation would be that, oh, look, she doesn't quite have it all down. She does turn into the Hulk because she gets super angry during court or something like that. Now, instead, we have the intervention of an outside agent, and she's being encouraged to do so by her paralegal, which nullifies any kind of a moral responsibility or any assertion that it was a character flaw that led her to do it.
I really like this outfit.
Thank you. Okay.
More foot shots! Oh my god. Oh my god, this does not look right. Okay, and do we know anything about this person who tried to intervene? The reason they did it, any stakes for if they succeeded? Or was that completely just an ornament for purposes of dangling for the protagonist so that we can have a moment like that?
Yeah, they wanna know who's that girl.
I'm ready to give my closing argument now.
Is that the end of the episode? Holy shit. That was one of the most boring and ridiculously horrendous things that I have seen. Period. The writing was utterly terrible. The characters were completely undefined. They were generically likable characters. I mean, the exact kind of character that you would write if you had very little experience writing characters. The plot was meaningless. There were no stakes at any point along the way. Every conflict was nullified immediately once it was introduced. A good chunk, like the vast majority of the chunk of the episode in the center was a flashback, and it was just a generic origin story that had virtually nothing to do with anything. There were no bigger ideas, there were no broader structures that were put into place, the jokes weren't set up. This was just gratuitous foot shots and pure unbridled validation of the protagonist. I didn't expect it to be that bad. I really genuinely didn't. I thought there would be some aspects, some good aspects of the writing. I thought there would be some subversion of the normal way that this kind of a thing would happen. I thought they'd set up some kind of character stuff. Nothing. Millions of dollars. This is the biggest property. What did Infinity War and Endgame, what did they make? Over $2 billion each? And they paid somebody, who I'm guessing doesn't have a whole lot of experience, to write this utter, complete trash. Shocking. Shocked. I'm shocked. I have not seen a single of the new Marvel TV shows, so I have no idea how good those are or what the kind of trajectory is on those ones, but this is easily some of the worst writing I've seen in anything that I've watched in a while, in a long time. It had all the worst writing tropes that you would expect from somebody who's like, it's their first try on trying to write a script for something, and they didn't do a second pass over it to try to make it more interesting or compelling. Wow. I mean, that's a big wow. Anyway, yeah, after having been kicked in the teeth with that one, I think we are going to redirect to some stuff that's actually done, well, that's enjoyable, so we can be excited about what's coming up. But thank you, everybody who was here for that. Let me know if this is just part and parcel of what Marvel is now. Otherwise, I hope all is well, and we'll see you on the other side.